Don't go scrambling to fix your audio. That clip had no sound. And this is the face of someone who just realized he's doomed because he had been filming for over an hour at the holiest place in Tibet without knowing that the mic had died on him. Friends, sometimes life throws lemons in your face, and it's up to you to do whatever you want to do with that. You can make lemonade, or margarita, or just cut them up, squeeze them in your eye, and cry, "Why me? Why me? Why life? Why me?" And basically this is the gist of this video, which honestly wasn't even going to see the light of day because of the obvious technical issues. But Dajiaosi or Jokang Temple is such an amazing place to visit and to know of, and so I'm gonna take these lemons and I'm going to turn them into the best mediocre video out there by putting together some voiceover and very sloppy second takes that I made on the spot in like very hurriedly after I discovered the problem, and we're gonna make it work. We are gonna make it work. So let's do this. I am in Lhasa, the city of sunshine, the land of gods, the capital of Tibet in southwest China, and more specifically, I'm in the old city of Lhasa, the downtown area. And I'm here for a few reasons. Do a bit of sightseeing, check out the local lifestyle, but more importantly, try to score some spiritual points by visiting the ultimate pilgrimage destination for Buddhists here in Tibet, and it's right behind me, so let's go. My destination for the day was Jokang Temple, the Mecca for Tibetan Buddhists, the reason why Lhasa exists, and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, along with the nearby Potala Palace, the highest royal residence in the world, and Norbolinka, the largest garden in Tibet. This is what everyone comes to see, the Jokang Temple. It is the spiritual center of Tibet and the most sacred and most popular monastery in the entirety of the region. 1,300 years old, it was built in the mid-7th century, and they say that without Jokang, there wouldn't be Lhasa, and that's because it is at the heart of the old city, and let me show you how buildings are just built around it. You can see all these buildings, well, this is the temple itself, but all these buildings are surrounding the temple. The square outside the temple is super busy and crowded with locals and tourists, each doing their own thing. Praying, taking photos, or if you're anything like me, just watching other people. But one of the main fixtures here is the devotees prostrating themselves outside the temple and within its vicinity. And it truly is a sight to behold. Prostration in Buddhism is an elaborate spiritual exercise to purify the mind from negativities, delusions, and bad karma. But basically, practitioners drop to their knees, stretch out their bodies on the ground, hold their hands above their head, stand up, and do it all over again. They're unfazed by all the ruckus, all the public life around them. They're so in the zone, so mindful of the task at hand, that it felt like they're in a world of their own. And perhaps by now you're wondering, why is this temple so sacred? Here's me explaining the reason, by the way. Wow. Interesting. Let me repeat that for you because, again, no audio. So, the temple houses a precious one-of-a-kind life-size statue of the original historical Buddha, the Buddha, Jowo Shakyamuni, the founder of Buddhism. And the statue is said to have been blessed personally by the Buddha himself 2,500 years ago. I took a guided tour, but filming inside the chapels and altars is not permitted. I was, however, able to find footage online of the prayer halls. They're open for worshippers in the morning, and in the afternoon, tourists can go in, although you can't enter the rooms where statues are unless you're Buddhist, which makes complete sense to me because it is a place of faith. And this is the sculpture that makes Jokang so spiritually significant. It's 1.5 meters tall, decorated with jewels, pearls, and semi-precious stones, and more importantly, it depicts Shakyamuni at 12 years old, when he was still a prince and before he renounced that life. And from what I understood, paying respect to the figure is equivalent to paying respects to the Buddha himself. And I couldn't help but feel humble knowing that I was in the presence of what very many wish to see and pray to.
So I just made my way all the way to the top of the temple, and let me show you something super interesting. This is the courtyard, and you see these monks? They're debating. This is an activity that they do every day around this time of the day, around 5 p.m., and they debate things related to Buddhism, and you see, or actually you hear these claps. This is when someone makes a good point, they're confident in their argument, this is how they make a point.
So let me break it down for you. The very energetic hand gesture is made by the standing monk, the challenger, after he asks a question to his sitting partner, the defender, to punctuate the argument he just made. Putting the two hands together symbolizes the joining of wisdom and method.
It's an activity that helps them with reasoning, sharpening their mind, and just having this back and forth about religion and religious matters. And these guys don't seem to be minding that we're all around them, watching them. They seem pretty focused on what they're doing.
And when you say Jokang Temple, you say Barkhor Street. It's a 1 kilometer pilgrimage road that encircles the monastery. And from my brief experience at another temple in Beijing, Tianning Temple, when it comes to circumambulation,
always keep it clockwise, you guys. Always keep it clockwise.
The same principle applies to Barkhor Street. Just follow the crowd. You really don't want to be going against the flow. Barkhor Street is a mind-blowing riot of colors, sounds, and people. Souvenir stores line both sides of the lane, selling anything and everything from spinning wheels to spread positive vibes out into the world, to chilling yet fascinating Tibetan masks, you know, in case you're prepping for a shamanistic ritual, to lots and lots of accessories and handmade trinkets, which you best believe I bought in bulk. Oh, I didn't see you there. But shopping aside, it seems there's a fan favorite activity on site, dressing up and posing for the camera. It was like stepping into a Vogue photo shoot, but instead of one model and a photographer, there were probably a million, decked out in traditional Tibetan clothes and competing for light and a good background.
It is just a lively, busy, crazy place. And I say crazy in a really good way because so many people are doing so many different things. You have the travelers taking photos, posing, people who are coming here for praying, just prostrating all the way on this specific road. And then you have just the locals walking around with their spinning wheels, earning some extra credits, spiritually speaking, and I love it. There's a bit of everything, but somehow it all fuses into this beautiful scenery, and I love it. It's definitely an experience unlike anything that I've ever seen before. Tibet is just a different world, and it's just, I honestly just feel blessed being here.
And just when I thought I've seen it all, my eyes bumped into a familiar brand. Who's coming to Lhasa for pepperoni pizza and fried chicken? I need names because we need to have a discussion. But at an elevation of 3,650 meters, these might just be the highest altitude fast food shops in the world, but don't quote me on that. And despite all the distractions, Barkhor Street remains at heart a place for religious pursuits, with temples and sacred altars and worshippers doing what they love, detached from everything around them. As I was finishing my walk, I saw a scene that really touched me. A monk offering free refreshments for believers on the Kora route, and a man, despite his apparent physical disability, doing one of the most demanding Buddhist acts, prostrating on the move. He might not have seen me, but I saw him and his determination, and it was such a powerful imagery. And I know this might sound very random, but I couldn't help but to think how the rest of us tend to go about life making excuses for a lot of things when we probably shouldn't. And so if my mic wasn't working, big deal. It's not an excuse for me not to share the beautiful place that I've been to and all the beautiful things that I've seen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I really enjoyed this change of heart that I had and the fact that I made this video, because honestly, it was just gonna go to the trash bin. This was all from me for this week. I will see you next time. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification button on if you haven't. This is all optional. You don't have to do it if you don't. I will see you next time. 再见。